G'day everyone and welcome to a special little tutorial. We're going to be showing you how to set up a blog for free. It is not very techy, even though the next few sentences might sound a little tech related. Basically, we're going to be using Notion, so we're going to be using Next, which is the front end framework. Don't be afraid though, because we're going to be just copying a template. Then finally, we're going to be hosting on Vercel. That actually just is going to join into our GitHub. Grab it, bring it across. You're going to basically do nothing, and you're going to host it for free. So again, this is totally free, basically no tech. Let's get to it. Very quickly, we're going to be having a look at what we're going to be making. So this is my blog. Pretty much how it's going to look. I've made some minor alterations, but that's not the main thing. And what happens here, we have a search bar which searches through all the blogs. You know, some breadcrumbs up here. That doesn't really do anything on this homepage. A little bit about me, and we can go into here, view different videos. It's a bit more impressive when you go into something with a lot of content. This is a little meta because we're actually having a look at what we're making, and this is the blog on this video, which is kind of cool. So all we really need to do is set up a few accounts. So luckily for us, my brother is actually wanting a blog set up, which is awesome because we're going to show you the whole way through. What we're going to do, we're going to first off make our GitHub account. So we're just going to type in GitHub on Google, click in GitHub, and start making an account. So we're going to take our email. So we're going to go and sign in GitHub, but we're actually going to create an account. Welcome to GitHub is what we're going to get. Put in your email, put in your password, enter a username. I'm just going to use first name, last name. No. And hopefully I'm a human. And we can create our account. Gonna send you a little code. Can't seem to copy paste it, so I'm just gonna enter it in manually. There we go. Successful, we are finally into GitHub. Really, we're just using GitHub to be able to copy out the repo that we want, and then we're also going to be using that to grab everything. Once you're signed up to GitHub, what you're gonna wanna do is grab the link to this repo. You're going to want to go to transitive bullshit, and the repo is Next.js Notion starter kit. Pretty much there's a lot here about how it works. It's really good, but all we need to do is click fork. So it's this button up here, forked. Now you see this, it's changed to your username, it's changed to Next.js Notion starter kit. Awesome. So there's only a few more steps to do to make it really yours. All we really need to do is get this Notion ID that he talks about here. And that Notion ID is, well, we'll need to sign up to Notion. So let's go across to Notion and do a sign up. We're going to need to try Notion for free and continue with Google. We're going to say yes, we want to continue with Google, and that's going to open up. We're going to want to create a new workplace. For myself, try Notion. Notion's great to try with the team and to do a lot of other stuff, but just for this one, we're just going to say trying it for ourselves. Awesome, here are some templates to get us started. Pretty much this is what we need. So you could actually put any of these pages up. That's what's kind of cool. But what we're going to do is we're going to go across to here and click duplicate. So I've duplicated my own version. You can duplicate transitive bullshits. So once it's duplicated, you can see that you've got a copy of it. You've duplicated it. A really brief rundown if you've copied like Travis Fisher's blog setup, which I have. When you are clicking a new blog one here, it'll create up here. Pretty much you're using like tags. This is the important one that you need to remember. So let's just name it that. Add a little icon. We can add a picture later, but this public button, this is what you're going to want to see. So because this is public, you can see it's shown here. Clicking that won't make it show up anymore. Let's change our view to a table view now. You can see a whole heap of things here because a lot of these are the blogs that he's made that are not public. So if these are ticked, you're going to be able to see them on the website. If they're not ticked, you're not going to be able to see them on the website. Probably the most important thing to work out. All the rest, really, check out Notion on how that works. Rundowns. There are much better rundowns on how Notion works. come to the page that we're going to be sharing. Okay, so we're going to be sharing this one, which has all of these inside. So everything inside this gets shared because it becomes public. So the important thing of what you want to do once you've copied them out, you want to come up here, click share. And you want to click this button here, which makes it public. Now, our key that we need is actually at the very end, but I'm just going to make it easy by clicking copy. So now it's public. Now that we've got that key, what we're going to do, we're going to go back over to that GitHub repo that we copied out. And we're going to go down, and you're going to see that it says in the notes that all you really need to change is the values in siteconfig.js, which you can actually get to on the front here by going to siteconfig.js and then coming across, edit this file, and then what we're going to do, Notion ID. This is all you need to change. It needs to have the quotes on the outside, but this is it. And we're going to delete everything. And there we go. There's a Notion ID, and I deleted one of the quotes. So I've added back in the quote, and now it's actually going to connect to our blog, which is awesome. That's pretty much it. I would say now what you want to do is change just a few different things here. You don't really need the domain right now since we're going to be using Vercel. If you want a domain, it will cost money. That's buying it off a domain. But if you host on Vercel, you're going to get a random sort of link, but it's still public to the internet. I'm just going to leave all this for now because we don't really need to change it. But pretty much you're going to want to change these things to relate to yourself. If you have Twitter, you change it to your Twitter accounts and all the like. There is one other thing that I'll point out that you should change because it will make it look quite odd. But anyway, so once we've finished making those changes in there, we say commit changes. So that does a commit to our main repo, to our main branch, which is the only branch we have. And if we go back, we can now go down. Oh, look at that. There was a commit now. So the other real quick thing I'm going to point out is that in this public file, there are images they're called favicons. And if we click into one, it's not going to actually, oh yeah, it's tiny. If we click into a bigger one, we can see it's Travis's face and everything. That's awesome. Nice face. But when it's your own website, you're probably going to want to make these yourself. So I would suggest going into something like Fav Icon Generator, and you would check one of these out, put your own image in, and it would generate you fav icons. And what you're going to do then, you're going to add them to this section here and remove the fav icons that aren't yours. Okay, so if you want to delete a file, let's say you want to delete this one, you just go across to here and then click delete this file. And then again, you would do add file and you would upload your files and commit them. You probably want to do that because otherwise it's really weird to see like his little seat, there he is there up in the corner when it's your own website. That's about the only other thing I'd really say to change, that you should change apart from that site config. Otherwise, if you want to get more technical and make it your own, totally go for it. And that's for a different video altogether. This is a very, very basic video on getting it all working. So we're pretty much done at this point. All we need to do is go to Vercel. So Vercel is what we're going to use to host all our content on. So if we type in Vercel, we go to Vercel, click here, develop on Vercel, let's say start deploying. Okay, we need to sign up, do we? Cool. Sign up, continue with GitHub. Awesome. Let's continue with GitHub. Keep in mind too, we didn't need to use GitHub. We also could have used GitLab or Gitbucket, but you know, we just use GitHub in this case. We're going to say authorize with Vercel. Being redirected, and we're in. Awesome, that was quick. So select the GitHub repo. We only have the one. Add GitHub account. Didn't I already do that? Oh, there we go. Okay, so we did need to do that. And then it's this Next.js Notion starter kit. Click import, and it's going to start importing. We're going to skip creating a team because we don't need that. that is all set up correct. Everything else, I think all the build commands, yep, they all look fine. We're just gonna click deploy and let it really do its own work. This is the great thing. Once you've gotten the GitHub, once you've gotten the Notion set up, you pretty much are just pressing copy, changing that one file, and maybe then deleting the fav icons and putting your own fav icons in, and you're done. Really quick. Yay, we got some confetti going down because it's all been developed and deployed. Sweet, now everything's been developed and deployed. If we want, we can preview it and go to it. So if we're going up here, we can click here, takes us to home. We can see we've got a site. What's this button? I think this, yep, that deploys. Well, that opens up the page into it. Wow, look at that, a website. Pretty cool. It's got its nice little black and white. It's got a few little setups here. You can turn on already like a comment section, which is connected to GitHub. But if you're not a developer, I would say it's not that useful. And I would also just put out there that you probably don't need comments on your blogs because you're going to get a lot of spam. But anyway, let's go to it. So if we click into the site, that's pretty cool. That's been deployed. If you want to learn more about deployments and making more changes to your website so it becomes more of your thing, you know, go for it. That's the real techie one. But if you want to just deploy a site really quick, this is pretty much how you do it. The cool thing now is that you can see this content in here pretty much updates very quickly. If we go to here, and if I have it so everyone can see all our content. So right now on the left is the live blog. On the right is Notion. This is really cool because what we can do here, we can change stuff and just say, like, something like that. I think then what's going to happen is there's a few, it's not going to hydrate the page on the first load. I believe it's like the second or third one. Yeah, it seems to be like the third time it will grab it. I'm not totally sure. I probably should read through on how that all works. But the main point is, you know, if you want to see your changes come from here to here, pretty much you just need to refresh it like once or twice and then your changes are going to be coming in, which is cool because you don't actually need to press any buttons. You don't need to push any new code. You don't need to do anything. Pretty much you can sort of treat Notion as a headless CMS kind of in a way, which is really cool where you can grab it. The other cool thing is that as you can see when you're in here and we're making a blog and there's all this stuff, you can do really quick like formatting and all this weird stuff that, you know, the markdown's awesome, but if you were gonna do this on some other traditional CMSs, they might not make it as easy, or sometimes they're a bit harder. The drawback though is the fact that, you know, you might want to get your hands dirty to change a few things around. So if we look at my blog that I've made myself, loading up here, I'm gonna pick to watch it in dark mode, and we can see it's slightly different to the base template that you get, but otherwise I've really not made that many changes. I might even put this social bar back on. But yeah, otherwise nearly everything I'm just keeping in. And the reason why is just because it's so easy to write blogs and update blogs. And if you're already using Notion for like a lot of different other reasons, which I am, it's great. Use it. So that is the Notion blog. Hopefully you got a sweet ass blog out of that. Don't forget that if you hit subscribe, we'll probably be bringing out some more content and other cool things like this. Also, don't forget to follow Travis, follow myself, and all the other cool dingy button thing like stuff so that we can go up in the YouTube algorithm.